reestablishing that kind of intimacy through touch. I'm really interested in the moment.
So you like to touch him?
I mean, so you like, how do you want it to look? And I was like, what can I use as a reference? He spoke no English, and he just like pointed to a picture of Ludacris on the wall. I'll never forget it. He's very good at that. And my partner will like, oh, my scalp.
Oh,
gua sha.
oh wow.
You are beautiful. You are powerful. You are worthy.
Hey, beautiful. Welcome back to the Kiya Convos podcast. This is the space for all things wellness, self-care, and empowerment. I'm your host, Amoah, also the founder of Kiya Cosmetics. And today I have the gorgeous Jasmine.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks so much for coming. I'm going to let you guys know from now, me and Jasmine have known each other for 20 something years.
Yeah, it's a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Don't give away our real age.
No. But yeah, I'm so happy to have you come down. Obviously, I was on your podcast when you first launched, so you had to return the favor. I know. By force. But yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know you, hasn't come across you before, just let us know a bit about who you are, what you do, and your journey to, getting here before starting Body in the City, basically.
Okay. So as you mentioned, my name is Jasmine. I am the founder of Body in the City, which is a wellness brand, to keep it short and simple.
Yeah.
Body in the City is like the umbrella, and then under that falls different areas of wellness. So there's yoga, there's therapy like movement therapy, stretch therapy, which I specialize in.
Yeah.
And then as of recently, like you said, I've gone into the realm of kind of the creative side of things. So the podcast is there. There's soon to be like retreats and other activities happening. But ultimately, it's a place, it's a hub, a physical and a virtual hub where we come together, different wellness people come together, meet, they talk, they share, and I get to showcase really cool people.
Yeah, I love it. So take us right back to before you started. I think you started off with yoga.
Yes.
So how did you get into wellness from the jump?
You know what? Yeah, I feel like no one really like gets into wellness. I think before we even know what wellness is, we're probably doing a form of wellness ourselves, right? The small things, the hot baths, getting your hair done on a weekend with your parents, whatever it might have been. I don't think wellness is like a new thing. We roll over one day and say, I'm going to be into wellness. Yeah. I think it just like grows from something that you realize makes you feel good. And then when you link it to other people that also share that same thing, and then you realize, oh wait, this is actually a whole thing. There's a class, there's a whole, that's what becomes wellness. So for me, again, my journey started with yoga. I'm a yoga teacher by trade. I did my teacher training in India. Okay. And that was probably the catalyst for me to like kind of explore other wellness avenues.
What brought you to India initially?
I feel like, me, I'm like, if I'm going to do something, I want to do it properly. And I kind of want to go to the source. So I wasn't really trying to do the teacher training here in the UK, although there are some really good like trainings here. I always wanted to go to the source, to be taught by those who've been teaching it for years. It's like, in their DNA, so to speak. So that's what took me to India. So I spent maybe like 6 weeks there on my own. The second time I went to India, and it was grueling, it was beautiful, it was super transformative. It was the first time I shaved my hair off completely. Oh wow, okay. It was my very first big chop when I was there, like midway. I was so hot and frustrated. I just like went to a random barber on the side of the street and just said like, shave my hair off. Which is really funny because he when he asked me like, how do you want it to look? And I was like, what can I use as a reference? He spoke no English, and he just like pointed to a picture of Ludacris on the wall. I'll never forget it. And never forget it. So yeah, that was like the catalyst of my wellness journey. Okay. Came home, immediately kind of like hired studios, taught yoga, because they teach you the best way to practice is to just do it and just start teaching classes. From there, the love kind of grows. I was always very interested in South Asia, Southeast Asia specifically, and I wanted to add on something to the yoga. And then I heard of like lazy yoga or assisted stretching and Thai massage, and that's kind of where that came from. So again, this time I actually left my job at this point. I quit my full-time job. I don't remember the timeline, but
you said you're going all in.
I went, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly. So the second trip, I went for a little while. I went to Thailand, the north of Thailand, I believe. Was it Chiang Mai? It was somewhere in Thailand I went to for another 6 weeks or so to do my teacher training in traditional Thai massage.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of how that was born. So I was like, okay, I love yoga. I now know how to do traditional Thai massage. I'm going to amalgamate the two. I'm going to put my own twist on it and I'm going to bring it back.
Okay.
That was born. That was really popular. And yeah, like just the ball just kept spinning, and before you know it, I'd done multiple other courses after that. I did my anatomy training. I did, assisted stretch therapy, fascia stretch therapy, pregnancy massage. There's no course or CPD I haven't done yet, but again, it all ties into this like love for wellness, and not just for myself, but loving how it made people feel. And that's how Bodmin City was ultimately born. It was from being able to offer these services to clients, giving them an array of treatments to choose from that I specialized in. And then around the COVID time, when things started to slow down, when people became a bit more confident again, but they weren't so confident to leave the house, that's when they was like, oh, let's just call Jazz to come to me. And that's how the mobile business of Bodmin City was born. So I started seeing clients from their homes, from offices, from studios, on tour, the list goes on. And then it grew and it grew, and I was like, oh, this is the whole thing. And yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What do you think is the main thing that sort of made the passion for it grow? Was it how you felt stretching, doing yoga, or the response from people that you were working on?
It was definitely a mixture of the two. I think in this day and age, it's really difficult for some to find a job that they feel really passionate about. And for me, it was really important to, whatever I'm doing on a day-to-day, it needs to be helping someone at least, There's something really rewarding about going to your job or doing something you love that's actually helping other people, not just like pushing paper, but you're genuinely making a difference, as cliche as it sounds. So that for me was like the drive. It's like, okay, my slogan or my logo is like, walk in, float out. Because whenever I was with someone, they'd always feel so good when I left them. And I kind of got addicted to that feeling of like making people feel really good.
Oh, I love that. I know you've stretched me before. And you said I was like one of the stiffest people you've stretched. I try. No, it's really, really good. So what have you found? So for me, for example, you said I was really stiff. Is that something you found? What's common things that you found people struggle with or suffer with that you found in your work?
You know what? It's not so much like just people they're just super stiff. The most common I've noticed in treating clients over the years is their lack of awareness of their own body. So a lot of people just don't know anything about their own body. It's really bizarre. Like they don't know why they
all studied anatomy. Okay.
Fair. Not just that, but like a lot of people will have like chronic pain and it will be undiagnosed. They'll not know what it is, but they've become so used to it. Oh, my back just hurts. Or my hamstrings are just, chronically tight, or I've just always had this pain here. I've always not been able to do this. And they use it as some, not necessarily an excuse, but it becomes a crutch. And it stops them from doing anything about it because they've always had it. So something that, I see a lot is this like lack of awareness. So when I go in with these really deep fascia stretch moves and kind of getting deep into that kind of somatics of it, then they're like really open up their body, they're really feeling loose, they're getting blood flow to areas that they've been like chronically stiffened for years, and then they're like, oh my god, I feel really, really good. Like, why haven't I done this years ago? And it's just like, well, ask yourself that question. So yeah, that's what I find comes up often, and I really like being that person to make someone feel good after years of not feeling good. Even for some people, if it's temporary, it allows them to think more about their body after they see me and how they can maintain feeling that way.
Yeah, I can attest to that myself because I never really thought about stretching outside of, okay, if you do sports, you stretch. I had never had it explained to me that no, stretching is something you should do on a daily basis. So after that experience, I really got into stretching. I haven't been doing it as much recently, although I need to, because I get chronic back pain, which is so annoying. But I think there's not enough education about it, to be honest. Online, people talk about yoga, they talk about Pilates, they talk about so many, all the things, but I don't see many people talking about stretching.
Yeah, I mean, because typically when you think of stretching as it is, just like a standalone, like form of exercise, so to speak, it's boring, isn't it? Like to just stretch on your own takes a lot to do, like a lot of willpower to get up and do a form of movement therapy on your own. Let's be honest. Unless it's like yoga or you're watching somebody or you're being led, it can be pretty just boring just to do a little bit of stretch. So most people go to the gym and they're literally doing like 5 minutes, if that, in the beginning, and maybe 5 minutes at the end. The type of therapy that I offer, it's just the stretching. And it's like just tapping into that. And it's not just the stretching that you're going to do in the gym. I'm stretching you in a way that you probably can't stretch yourself. And I'm almost guiding your breath to move past a point where you would usually have stopped because your brain's like, oh, that's enough. But I'm trained to be like, okay, I can tell you're tight here and here, but hear me out. If you breathe with me, if you inhale here and you exhale as I release, I guarantee you we can go a bit deeper. And we'll do that over time. You'll allow the body to warm up. We're really like getting the fascia a bit more, a bit more viscous. And in that, they're seeing notable change in that session. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't know stretching could feel so good. And that's just why people book me again and again.
So what do you recommend to your clients, like outside of the stretch? So say they have you weekly, what do you say they do the other 6 days?
So some clients see me weekly, and I always leave them with like, this is what I want you to work on. This is how your body is feeling today. This is what I've noticed today. And this is why it's important for me to have regular clients, because I can really build that rapport with them. But it's not going to be one size fits all. Nothing is. So depending on what the client is up to, what they do in the week, what their body is doing, I might recommend a few stretches. I might recommend basics like, please drink more water. You're really stiff because your muscles need hydration. It might be very simple tips like that. Or if I don't know, they're trying to practice something in particular, like I've got dancers who want to be able to do a certain type of split. So we'll sit down and I'll be like, okay, this is the one I want to do every day. Sit in frog pose for 5 minutes before bed. Little things like that. And then our next session, I'm like, did you do it? Most of the time they're like, no, but it's nice to be able to offer something for them.
So for like the average person, what would you recommend? Just someone that's even like me. So whenever it's cold, I get an achy back and my shoulders, I know they're tight. So what would you say outside of obviously seeing a professional they can do just to make life a bit easier themselves?
If you're going to do just one stretch a day, I would recommend, if you're going to do 2 stretches a day, I would recommend cat-cow. Super straightforward, super easy. You can do it on your bed, you can do it on the floor, right? Just do cat-cow. Just inhale, chin to chest, look at the navel. Easy, That's just going to be super great just for like getting the spine some movement. It's also good for the eyes, like be able to look up and stretch the eyes and the muscles behind the eyes, right? So cat-cow, and then child's pose. Super simple. Child's pose as in just like coming down, reaching the arms out in front of you, getting that length in the body. Those are the 2. If you can do that every day, I'm not saying your back pain will just disappear, but you will noticeably feel a bit better because it's like a mental thing. I'm actively doing something to help my body to lengthen.
You know when you do child's pose,
Yeah.
your bum's supposed to be on the floor.
On the floor
Not
or
the
on
floor,
your heels?
It's supposed to be down.
This is tricky.
Or can it be up?
This is tricky because it's all about like the size of your limbs as well make a difference in it. Because for me, I'm really flexible. I'm relatively flexible, but I can't get my bum to my heels because I've got massive calves. So it's all about like the body. Like, I don't know. Ideally, yes, I would say, but again, it's not necessary. It depends. If you're like quite thick, you've got a lot of meat around your thighs, it's not really gonna bend like that. You know what I mean? So no, there's no like set way of doing things. Don't let Instagram fool you into thinking it needs to look this way. Because again, this is what deters people from doing stretching and exercise in general, because they believe they should look a certain type of way, and if it doesn't, it's not right. But everybody's way is different for themselves. So just like do what feels comfortable for you.
Yeah. You think there's a lot of disinformation online about like yoga specifically?
I mean, there's a lot of misinformation about a lot of things. Yoga in particular, yoga's a tricky one because obviously the West have taken it, not necessarily taken it. I would say that the West have evolved it, and it's so spread out now from its origin, and even its origins up for debate because as much as we know it dates back into like in the East and like Hindu texts, so to speak. But if you want to go even further, there's like evidence of it in like ancient Egypt, inside the pyramids, on hieroglyphics, kind of thing, like the same moves we do today. Sun salutation is on the walls inside the pyramids. So some would say, okay, well, does it not then originate in Africa, so to speak? So there's lots of information. I do a lot of deep diving into that just in my free time. And the conclusion for it was like, there's no like proof, like a lot in our history, a lot of it's been erased, and equally there's more documentation, or there's just more documented history of it being in a Hindu form of practice, like dating back, as opposed to what we see inside of in the pyramids. So we just don't know. We actually don't know the origin of most things because things are only dated back to so far. And if a lot of information is lost, then you can only account for it up until so far. So it's interesting. Take everything with
it. So, body in the city. I know you're big on moving your body. So, what would you say is the ideal morning routine, body-wise? I mean, I know you incorporate some mental in there as well. So, yeah.
You need a mental.
What is your morning routine? Your ideal.
Okay, ideal is good because when you have an 18-month-old, there is no morning routine anymore. It's just make it through the day. Everyone for themselves. But my ideal, my ideal morning routine would consist of like having a very slow morning. So if you can, like no phones for the first part of the morning. If you can, like an hour maybe. If you can like have your alarm go off, or have your phone in another room, so you can just hear the alarm go off from the other room and just turn it off. To start your morning super, super slow, if you can get up ahead of your kids, if possible. Just to kind of give yourself some time to yourself. So I've been doing it recently, getting up like way earlier than the baby, when it's dark out sometimes, putting on some like really quiet music, doing a really like simple flow, nothing, just literally sitting down, doing a bit of a stretch. I'd recommend just starting the morning very slowly, no like devices. I have a hot water and lemon, or hot water and apple cider vinegar, just to get the digestion going. And you start your morning with, like, I get up every morning and say thank you, my feet hit the ground. It's just like, that's my gratitude. It's like, thank you, that's what I need to say. So I say thank you, or you can do your morning prayer, you can do a meditation, you can do an affirmation, you can listen to affirmations. There's loads of different things you can do. But ultimately, I think even if you can get like 10 minutes with yourself in the morning, not starting your day, not checking your emails, it's easy to do, not checking your Instas and your messages coming in the night. Just sit, even if you have that cup of tea, listen to some music if you need to, sit in silence if you need to, just look outside if you need to. Like, it's about the quiet for me. That would be my most ideal morning. And then I can ramp it up, because by then my kid's up, he wants to play. Then I can get like a coffee or a matcha and start my day. But knowing that I've got that little bit in the morning really does set me up.
Yeah. You exercise every day?
I'd be lying if I said I did. I don't, but I would like to, and I'd advise people to exercise every day.
Do as I say.
Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, I mean, stretching is a form of exercise. So yeah, I mean, a little bit of exercise every morning, or at least every night, is always good. Going for a walk, walking, get off a stop earlier, walking to work a little bit longer, whatever it might be. Get the steps in.
Yeah. I love that. And then what is your nighttime routine? I mean, we did the morning, so.
I mean, yeah, the nighttime routine, again, when you have kids, it's very kids focused. But once baby's sleeping, then again, for me, it's like, the wind down. I'll be honest, like, I've really got into reading again. Okay. And not just like your self-help type books, which I love, or I'm not reading just like books to like better myself, which I should be, and I still do read good books. I'm actually gone back and I'm reading like fantasy books. I'm reading like,
I'm seeing a rise in that online.
Yeah, I'm reading
actual stories.
I'm reading like one of the last Twilight sagas. Okay, don't shoot me, but listen, hear me out. It's amazing. It's so good. It's like the very, very last ones. It's like the perspective of one of the main characters. Midnight Sun. If you know, you know. And yeah, I just find it really, really. It's just nice to just turn off. I'm in my own little world. I was a fan of the movies, so I know. I've got the visuals already in my head. Yeah, you're missing out on that.
It's on my list.
Yeah. It's just like, it just requires no brain power to get there and to be in that space. And that is what I do at bedtime now. Like, once I've like had my my downtime, my gua sha, the routine, the hair, baby sleeping, had dinner, all those good stuff, the self-care bits. My highlight of my evening now is like cuddling up in bed with this book that I get a good giggle at, and then I go to bed with a warm eye mask.
Oh, okay. I love that for you. Soft life.
Soft.
So what have you found since started? So Body in the City, obviously we've touched on the stretching. So do you do just stretching with clients, or do you do yoga sessions as well?
So I teach yoga if I'm being booked for a retreat. So I did retreats last year, and that's kind of the only time I'm teaching yoga at the moment. Sad as it is, because I love teaching yoga. It's like my first love. It just wasn't like time effective at the time. So for clients now, I only really see like a very small handful of clients, and those whom I see are like very, very regular. I was talking like once a week kind of a vibe, and it's just stretching. So what I'm teaching now is like all these beautiful things that I've learned over the years, all the different modalities kind of combined into like an hour and a half, 2 hour session. It usually takes place from their home. So I go to them, and it consists of like assisted stretch therapy, gua sha, deep movement.
Okay, so what's your plans outside of that side of the business? Obviously you started the podcast.
Yes.
So talk to us about the podcast.
Yeah, that's my new baby. Again, it falls under the umbrella of Body in the City.
Yeah.
And it came about because I've got this personality whereby I want to do everything. I'm a course junkie. I love to travel. I love to learn new things, and I love that. And I just woke up one day and realized that I just can't do it all. Like, I want to be able to have it all and to be able to offer all these different services, but it wasn't realistic, and I wasn't able to like perfect or be like a master or anything if I just do everything, right? So instead, I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Like, I might not be able to like do a Reiki course right now, or be a herbalist, all these different things I want it to be. But I know people that do this, and they're really amazing at what they do. So instead, why don't I focus on showcasing talent that already exists from people who look like myself? Right? So that's how Body in the City podcast, the digital arm of it, was born. It was me going, okay, fine. If you go way back before then, the idea was actually to create a directory and bring everybody together that way.
Yeah.
And I worked months on that, and I spoke to many different developers, and it was just like a dead end because it was like super tedious to like create this. In the back end, it was really difficult to create.
Mm-hmm.
So I parked it, and I thought the most easiest way to do it would be to have a platform whereby I could bring people that I knew, meet new people, showcase what they do. So it's like shining a light on their work, have a conversation, breaking down any barriers of misunderstanding, and also showing that in this wellness field, there are people that look like us, you know, and really like showing the representation is there. Yeah. If you go looking for it.
So what's the feedback been like so far with the episodes?
Yeah, no, really amazing. Just people are, oh wow, like I never knew. I get that a lot. Or I'm gonna try this now. Some of my guests have said, oh, you know, people have come to me via the podcast and the book sessions. So I'm doing my bit, and I love that. It's like a form of giving back and showcasing. It works really well with the brand.
No, I love it. Even when you did the episode with you showed a clip of someone doing like a sound bath.
Yes.
At the something hurts.
Yes.
What was it again?
I want to say 532 hertz. Okay, I could be wrong, but you can check it on my podcast. But yeah, her name is Becca. She's amazing, and she's a retreat owner. She owns a wellness brand in Mallorca, and she gave us a live sound healing experience at the end of our tour.
The first time I've experienced that, and it really relaxed me. I was like, oh, you should have it. I closed my eyes. I was like, okay, let me just listen. It was really good.
So amazing, and it's just like, there's many just like misconceptions and around things, everything in life that people don't understand. They draw their own conclusion to. So the idea is that Body and Sea can showcase things that you may have heard about, but you didn't know much about. If I can show you what it looks like, show you somebody who actually does it for a living, then hopefully that will encourage you to now book a session for yourself or add it to one of your, you know, events and stuff and add some sound healing in.
Have you found any like things, because you're very open to experiencing things for yourself and trying it and seeing if it works? Have you found anything conflicting with, obviously you're a Christian, your faith, because I know there's Christians that don't do yoga. There's Christians that wouldn't do the sound bath or etc. So have you found that in your own personal experience to be conflicting at times?
Not in my own personal experience, because I believe in God. You understand? I've got a very close relationship with God. I don't think anyone or any religion can tear me away from that. So I'm very clear on that. Okay. So I think once I'm clear on that, I'm moved by other people's opinions. I'm open to the opinions, but it doesn't really do much for me because I know where my heart is in it. But yeah, I mean, growing up, I'm not going to say growing up, but like being in the industry, like teaching yoga, going to India to learn these things. Even in India, they don't say, oh, this is for people of Hindu faith. They very, very clearly say this is not based on any religion at all. You don't have to be a Hindu to practice or a Buddhist to practice. You have to be of any religious background. This is just a relationship between you and yoga. And it's like a series of like sutras and namas that you understand about yoga that has its own path in different text. However, it's not like directly linked. You don't have to be a certain of a certain faith to practice it. So yes, I've got a lot of friends who still support me, and they will always repost my stuff, but they never necessarily wanted to go to a class because they felt as though it interfered with their faith. And that's perfectly fine. This is why I actually had a Christian yoga teacher come on my show to help to kind of demystify it and kind of let people know that you can bring the two together. They do work really well together. You know, God does yoga. It's her like line. It was like so cool. It's great. So yeah.
Do you do journaling?
I used to. And not as much as anymore. I've got I was looking at it the other day. Like, I've got like 4 books, like front to back, filled. So journaling is creme de la creme. So good. I recommend. And if you want a tip for journaling, I would recommend on one page writing down what you are grateful for now. So just like one page and just get it all out there, like everything you're grateful for, like in the now, in the moment, past tense, what you're grateful for. And then on the following page, I would write down what I'm going to be grateful for as if it's already happened. So something that maybe I'm working on, but I'm literally writing it down like, oh my God, thank you so much, that happened, and this came out amazing.
In a podcast recently, it's like, I think the one I spoke about was writing out your dream day in the first. So, I woke up today and I felt amazing and da 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 da.
Yeah, that is so effective, and it's even more amazing when you go back a couple pages.
Okay.
So like do it and then go back like a month and then reread what you wrote and be grateful for, and you'll realize over time what you said you'll be grateful for happened in your grateful now page. It's crazy. Yeah, that would be my advice for journaling. It's really effective. It is so effective because it puts you in this headspace where your brain literally thinks you've already received it. So you release all these different types of endorphins and stuff with this mindset of that you already have that. So if you wanted to, like, I don't know, be on a beach somewhere and have this amazing vacation, and you're describing how amazing it is where you are and how, you know, the sun feels against your skin, you're really specific, right? Very detailed. It sends these like neurons to your brain, like, oh wait, she must be there because she's really feeling it, you know. And in turn, I believe that you bring about an opportunity for that to actually happen in more life.
Yes, I think that's, so manifestation is another one of those great areas. Even for myself, it took a while for me to be like, okay, skeptical. But the Bible says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So what I took from it is, if I'm writing, this is what I want, as though I have it, I'm believing that I have it, and therefore God's going to bless me with that thing. It's exactly it's exactly the same. At the moment with my journaling, I just journal my thoughts, my feelings. I use journal prompts sometimes to ask myself questions. But I'm really big on journaling right now.
Journaling is very big. Yeah, I wish I did it more. Like, I saw these books, like I said to you, and I was like, oh wow. First I was like, oh, my handwriting's changed, but then I was just like, this is really cool. But yeah, even if it's just, I think my cousin, one of them, he journals, or does she journal? One of them, they just write, like completely unguided, just empty. Like it's just word vomit on the paper. And they said to me that they found it extremely helpful in just making sure they start their day clear-headed, because all the gunk and just the free thoughts that was like intrusive, not particularly productive, or maybe just like overwhelming, was on paper and therefore out of their head. So that's also another one that's helpful.
I love that. I love a good wellness talk.
Yeah, I can talk about wellness all day, every day. You know, I am.
So, what's your plans with Body in the City moving forward? So, you've recently launched a podcast, and you want to do events. So, let us know what you have coming.
Wow. So 2025 is a really good year. Lots of cool things are coming this year. So season 1 is just wrapped up. So you can find season 1. I'm not sure when this will go live, but I'm assuming by then all the episodes will be out. But yeah, season 1's been wrapped up. We've got an amazing lineup for season 2, which again will have some really kind of thought-provoking conversations with people that specialize in a particular wellness modality, conversations around wellness to a degree, parenting, lifestyle, relationships, everything that makes someone feel well. There'll be conversations on. We've got events coming in the summer, TBC. I'm working with some really cool brands. I can't announce, but really cool brands, again, that'll launch in the summer. They're launching. So you'll see me floating around and doing lots of really cool stuff. But yeah,
what's your brand mission? Like, what's your goal?
My goal is to like bring about awareness to wellness and bring it to our community. So people of color specifically, whom I believe are relatively new to really investing in wellness than our counterparts. So my goal is to showcase as many wellness tips and creatives and advocates in the industry as possible, to not only shed a light on them and their work, but also allow people to think more about their own wellness and how they can improve it ultimately.
So it's good that you have such variety as well, because something might not resonate with someone, but something else will. So
absolutely, not every, like no two sides are the same. I just feel like there's something out there for everybody, and all it could take is just a podcast that brings that to their attention. They're like, oh wow, I didn't know that was actually a thing.
Yeah.
Now I know what it is I was looking for all these years. And then they go and try it, and it's like life changing.
Yeah.
That's like,
yeah. Oh, I love it. I love that. Changing gears slightly.
Yes.
What does self-care mean to you?
I ask this on my podcast. I'm sure you can answer. Self-care for me means taking stock of how I feel in that moment, not putting any pressure or any kind of judgment on that feeling, and doing what I can in that moment with the resources, time, and space I have to bring about an equilibrium, basically.
Okay.
That is self-care for me. So if I know that it can be very small, like if I know that I just need a hot bath because I've had a really long day, that's a form of self-care. So I'll go the extra mile and I'll be adding, you know, bentonite clay and baking soda and all types of cool stuff in the bath to detoxify and to like sit. For me, that's a form of self-care. Self-care for me is also boundaries and putting in place some really healthy boundaries with people and communicating my needs. These are all things for me that is a form of self-care, because if I can't be my best self, I'm going to be no good for my son.
Yeah.
I
love that so much. No, I love mothers. It's for my child. No, it's good. No, I love that. Okay, so I think you kind of touched on it, but you've had a stressful day at work. Everything's gone wrong. God forbid. You get home, the child is not there. He's with your mum overnight. Okay. Yeah. What are you doing to relax?
I always cook a hearty meal. Food is like me and my partner's love language. We cook.
Yeah.
And
I see.
Yeah. And I've always been that way. We like greens, we like colourful food. You know, I think if you're going to spend your money on anything, it should be quality food if you can. Like as quality and as fresh as you can. So the first thing we're probably doing is cooking up a good meal.
What's your go-to?
At the moment, my go-to meal is a meal called nam khao, which is like a crispy baked rice salad. So you like mix with like cucumber. It's quite spicy. It's like salty, spicy. It's just it's giving, right? I low-key have it like once a week. My partner will laugh. I do have it like once a week, but we will make a really hearty meal, and we sit down. No baby, no phones, maybe some music. Sometimes we sit in silence because we need that just to be like, I'm here with you, but I also need you to not speak to you. And then other times we can just like unload, talk about our day, what we've got coming up. Just like life admin kind of thing. But that is like a typical day, like in a real person's world.
Will that relax you though?
It kind of does. Okay. It kind of does, because I think I work, so like if I'm thinking about trivial things all day, sometimes you want to come home and just like
let it all out,
let it all out, process it. Someone who's actually willing to listen to you, and that feels good, because it's like, okay, now I haven't got to go to bed with it. I can just get it out there and it's done. I try not to spend too long talking about it or work at all, but yeah, having a good chat is good. And yeah, like even like massaging, I'm really big on like couples massage. I might do a course in it, who knows? But like the couples touch and reestablishing that kind of intimacy through touch, I'm really interested in at the moment.
So you like to touch him?
I mean, but yeah, and he's very good at that. And my partner will like, my scalp, give me gua sha.
Oh wow. Yeah, I love that for you.
I love that for me too. So yeah, what about you? What's your ideal?
Okay, get home, shower, put on my pajamas. My pajamas, like literally shorts, some tiny shorts, some tiny best. Because I would prefer to not have clothes at home, but you have to, kids. Eat something, preferably preferably something I haven't cooked, because
Mm.
I cook every single day.
Do.
I like to not taste something that's not from my hands,
Okay.
and then binge a very good series
Oh,
with Patrick.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
It's been a while since I've done that, but I love that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that would just
intimacy.
relax me.
Yeah.
Just glass of wine. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's a bit of me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So you mentioned heat oils your scalp. Before we
Yeah.
wrap up, we have to get into your new hair. It's not new to them, but this is your new hair. You are a locked babe
I am.
now.
Yeah.
Very quickly, what brought it about?
Oh,
And how has the journey been so far?
I mean, I'm gonna do a whole vlog on this.
Yes.
As well. So
Yes.
I haven't really thought about it that much, to be honest, but I mean, you know me, and those who do know me personally, I've gone through probably every hairstyle in the book.
Yes.
I've done 2 big chops, I've done platinum blonde, I've done pink, I've done orange, whatever. So for me, just in a nutshell, it was the right time.
Okay.
It just was the right time for me. I kind of, the health of my hair was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like a good time to maintain that health in a style that I could maintain.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I like having my hair out.
Yeah.
And even though I had it out, I just feel like in London, my particular hair type, I'm not sure if it's the same for you, but it doesn't like stay moisturized
No.
in London. Especially if you go on the tube and stuff, it's just not giving. So
No.
I wanted something where I could wear my hair out
Mm-hmm.
and not have to do much to it on
Yeah.
day to day. It can be in its natural glory, its own curl pattern, and have a mind and life of its own.
Mm-hmm.
And after lots of extensive research and having braids and all different types of hairstyle, I thought I'm just gonna lock it, because that way I can still have that, be out, be natural completely,
Mm-hmm.
and have the versatility as well.
And you have micro locks.
I have micro locks,
Yeah.
yeah.
How have you found it? So how long's it been?
Just over 3 months.
Okay.
Now, so very, very new.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very new. There's some people that are like all a year, 18 months in, and it's not even matured yet. So I'm very like a new lock babe. But yeah, I highly recommend for those who are considering it.
Yeah.
It's not low maintenance. When anybody tells you it's not low maintenance at all, it's the complete opposite. But do not let that deter you. It's really like refreshing and liberating as well.
Yeah. It's really just solidified your whole
it's
look.
like rounded
okay,
my
she's a
face.
wellness babe.
Yeah, I call myself like the Black Dora Explorer, because I've got this like really circle face.
No, I've loved this. Thank you so much for coming
thank
down.
you for having me.
It's been good.
It's been so fun.
I mean, we'll be linking up.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
And an event. We're going to do an event.
We should. We should just like talk about it. Things happen in the summer. Watch this space.
Definitely. Well, yeah, thank you for coming down. Let everyone know where they can find you online.
Body in the City, everywhere.
Yeah.
Body in the City, Instagram, TikTok. I don't really post TikToks, but you can find me there. Body in the City on YouTube. Please subscribe and share. And on Apple Podcasts as well for live sessions.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Be sure to leave any thoughts or takeaways that you have in the comment section below. We like to continue the conversation there. If you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe for more episodes to come. And be sure to check out Jasmine, Body in the City, on her podcast as well. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care, stay blessed, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.